Good morning, and welcome back to Sober Sunrise. It is Saturday. It's August 9th. It is 10 a.m., 10:08 to be exact. You ever have one of those mornings where, like, even though you slept in and you feel well rested, you're still not quite functioning at a high level, like when you forget to put a coffee cup under the Keurig, and yeah, that's what happened today. But it's going to be a great day, and this reading is a follow-up to yesterday's, so we'll get to it in a sec. Please hit the like and the subscribe button and help the channel grow. You can help me grow this channel and reach more people just by clicking like. Please, thank you. I appreciate it. So yesterday's title was We Made a List, and today's title is Of All Persons We Had Harmed. That's the 8th step. And became willing to make amends to them all. So that's the complete reading. We made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. That's the 8th step. The writer says, one of the key words in the 8th step is the word all. I am not free to select a few names for the list and to disregard others. It is a list of all persons I have harmed. I can see immediately that this step entails forgiveness, because if I'm not willing to forgive someone, there is little chance I will place his name on the list. Before I placed my first name on the list, I said a little prayer. I forgive anyone and everyone who has ever harmed me at any time and under any circumstances. Interesting. Okay. It is well for me to contemplate a small but very significant 2-letter word every time the Lord's Prayer is said. The word is as. I ask, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. In this case, as means in the same manner. I am asking to be forgiven in the same manner that I forgive others. As I say this portion of the prayer, if I am harboring hatred or resentment, I am inviting more resentment, when I should be calling on the spirit of forgiveness. Okay. Coming in hot on a Saturday. Dang. I never really have had it explained to me in this way, of the 8th step. But it makes total sense. So when we're doing the 8th step, the first part of this is important. We can't pick and choose who we are going to make our amends to whom we are going to make our amends. I am not free to select a few names for the list and disregard others, because that's taking the easy way out, perhaps. If we're going to do this and get uncomfortable doing it in order to be comfortable afterwards, we got to do it the right way. So if we were given the choice to, who do you want to make amends to? You can pick whoever you want, but you don't have to pick everybody. Most of us would pick the easiest ones. Hey, I borrowed your lawnmower and I brought it back without putting gas back in it. My bad, right? Really sorry about that. But those aren't the ones that matter. I mean, they all matter, but they're not the biggest, most important ones. It's a list of all persons I have harmed. I can see immediately that this step entails forgiveness, because if I'm not willing to forgive someone, there's little chance I will place his name on the list. It's an interesting way to put that part. That's why I got confused a little bit. But its meaning is well explained in the next part. Before I placed my first name on the list, I said a little prayer. I forgive anyone and everyone who has ever harmed me at any time and under any circumstances. Man, that's easy to say and hard to do. I can just say I forgive everyone, but that's nothing, really. It's like when we used to say I'm sorry to someone, when we would lie and get caught, and then lie again, and then promise not to do it again, and then lie again, and then get caught. Like saying I'm sorry. It meant nothing after a while to the person or people who we were harming. So for me to just say I forgive everyone who's ever harmed me, without actually searching and seeing if I can truly forgive them, the words mean nothing. So I need to noodle that a little bit and think about that. I forgive anyone and everyone who's ever harmed me at any time and under any circumstances. So it kind of goes back to step 4 and 5, where we made a list of our resentments and tried to understand our part in how those resentments were created in the first place. It starts with thinking about who harmed me, and then you have to go backwards from there and do the game of, well, what did I do to them to get them to do what they did to me? So having that list is helpful, because then we can, for this part, we can go back to that and say, okay, do I truly forgive everyone on this list for the harm that they've done onto me? And if you aren't ready to say yes, then this part of this step needs some work. I forgive anyone and everyone who has ever harmed me at any time and under any circumstances. Like, wow, that's all encompassing, man. That's all of it. And what if it's like, all right, I forgive like 98% of everything, but there's this one thing that I'm not ready to move on from yet. Then you gotta, that tells you that you still have some feelings about that you need to explore. That's all this stuff is like, not all it is, but a lot of it is understanding your feelings and coming to grips with things that have plagued us and the spiritual malady that we have resulting from these feelings that cause us to drink and use. And if we can come to terms with these things that happen to us, that's half the battle. And then we come back to this step and we say, okay, now I have to come to terms with accepting my, getting my medicine for the things that I did to other people. And then like once those are done, then you get to carry on with life being of service. And that's the beautiful part. So I need to do some investigating on if I forgive everyone and everything that's ever happened to me under any circumstances. Like that's a lot, and I've lived a pretty easy life. So I can only imagine what some of you out there listening to this must be thinking. You might be thinking that's impossible. I can't do it. Well, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It is well for me to contemplate a small but very significant 2-letter word every time I say, every time the Lord's Prayer is said. And if you guys aren't religious, if you're not familiar with the Lord's Prayer, it's fine. Like I said, I've said it over and over again. I'm not religious. I'm very spiritual, but I'm not religious. But getting back to the reading, the word is as. I ask, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. So in this prayer, this part of it is the person saying it, asking God to forgive them as they forgive others. So saying like, hey, I have forgiven all these people, now I need you to forgive me. In this case, as means in the same manner. I'm asking to be forgiven in the same manner that I forgive others. But I don't think a lot of people who say this prayer did the second part. They're asking for the first part before they did the second part. Asking for forgiveness in the same manner that I forgive others. Well, have you done your work? Have you truly forgiven everything and everyone and everything that's ever happened to you? As I say this portion of the prayer, if I am harboring hatred or resentment, I am inviting more resentment when I should be calling on the spirit of forgiveness. Yeah, exactly. So, if you haven't done the second half of the prayer, where you have forgiven everyone, and yet you're asking to be forgiven, this sentence is saying, if I am still harboring hatred or resentment, so if I haven't done my second half of the part of the prayer, I'm inviting more resentment onto me. And that's not what we want. So it's saying you have to do the second part first, which seems counterintuitive or whatever, but you have to do the second part if you want to get the first part. So I have some work to do that I didn't even know I had to do. I was all ready to talk to my sponsor tomorrow about presenting my portion of it. Now I feel like I'm still going to do that. And I'm going to talk to him about this reading. Maybe he'll watch this video. Because I don't know. I have to think about it for a while. Go back to my 4th and 5th step list and see where I stand on forgiving everyone and everything that's ever happened to me. Which is really interesting because there's something happening in my life right now with a certain individual who is on that list, and they popped up back in my life just a few days ago, almost out of nowhere, and challenged. As a result, that challenged, have I forgiven them? Because they need help right now. And I'm not doing all I could to be helpful. So, hey, look at these messages coming out of left field, right? Like, if I hadn't sat down and done this today, I would not be going through this thought exercise of, have I forgiven this person? Is there a reason that this person all of a sudden popped up in my life right before this reading came into my life? You know, like all these things start to connect. And it's spooky sometimes, man. It's really cool. I like it. But I know one thing for sure. If I was drinking and not doing this work, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of the computer trying to get better and then taking this thought exercise away for the rest of my weekend and thinking about it and understanding, do I forgive that person? Should I be more helpful to them because they need help right now? I got work to do, y'all. All right. That's it for today. I got work to do. Thank you for being here and listening to me think out loud. If you liked the video and if you haven't done so already, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with someone. Share the channel with someone. Maybe you'll be helping them. That's it, okay? So whoever you are and wherever you are and whenever you're listening to this, I would like you to know that you are enough and you can do this work. You can get better. As you can see, if you've made it through this video this far, even years down the road, you're challenged and you have to do some more work, and that's the fun part. But you can do this. You're enough and you're loved and you're supported, and I'm sending my support to you, and just do the best you can today. Try to think about if you can forgive anyone and everyone who's ever harmed you at any time and under any circumstances. And if you can do that, boy, you're even ahead of me. So, all right. Love you all. Have a great day, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye.